Question 1. A project manager is leading a project where requirements are expected to evolve frequently, and the team needs to deliver value incrementally. Which project life cycle approach would be most suitable for this scenario? A. Predictive. B. Iterative. C. Waterfall. D. Plan-driven. Answer: B. Iterative. An iterative life cycle is highly suitable when requirements are subject to change and the project team needs to deliver incremental value. In this approach, work is performed in repeated cycles, allowing for continuous refinement and feedback on partially completed work, which helps accommodate evolving requirements. For instance, in software development, building a basic version of a product and then regularly adding features based on user feedback is an iterative process. Remember, iterative life cycles prioritize adapting to change over strict upfront planning. Question 2. Which document formally authorizes the existence of a project and provides the project manager with the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities? A. Project Management Plan. B. Business Case. C. Project Charter. D. Requirements Documentation. Answer: C. Project Charter. The project charter is the foundational document that formally authorizes a project and grants the project manager the authority to utilize organizational resources. It is created by a sponsor or initiator external to the project, signifying organizational commitment and support. For example, before a construction project begins, a signed charter from a senior executive officially kicks it off and empowers the project manager. Always remember that without a project charter, a project lacks official recognition and the project manager lacks formal authority. Question 3. In an Agile context, who is primarily responsible for ensuring the Scrum team understands the items in the product backlog to the level needed? A. The Scrum Master. B. The development team. C. The product owner. D. The stakeholders. Answer: C. The product owner. The product owner is singularly responsible for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the development team. This includes clearly expressing product backlog items, ordering them to best achieve goals, and ensuring the product backlog is transparent, visible, and understood by everyone. For instance, if a development team is unclear about a feature, the product owner clarifies its intent and priority. Think of the product owner as the voice of the customer and business, making sure the team builds the right thing. Question 4. A project manager discovers that a key deliverables quality control results are consistently below acceptable standards. What is the most appropriate next step for the project manager to address this issue? A. Accept the deliverable as is to avoid schedule delays. B. Update the project management plan to reflect the lower quality standard. C. Conduct a root cause analysis and implement corrective actions. D. Transfer the quality responsibility to the project sponsor. Answer: C. Conduct a root cause analysis and implement corrective actions. When quality control results indicate a consistent deviation below acceptable standards, the project manager's responsibility is to investigate the underlying cause, not just accept the subpar output or lower standards. Conducting a root cause analysis helps identify the true source of the problem, allowing for the implementation of effective corrective actions that prevent recurrence. For example, if software is consistently crashing, a root cause analysis might reveal an inadequate testing process, leading to a revised testing strategy. Always strive to fix the source of problems, not just the symptoms. Question 5. Which Agile principle emphasizes the importance of face-to-face conversation as the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team? A. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, is essential. B. Build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. C. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. D. continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. Answer: C. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. This principle from the Agile Manifesto directly promotes the value of direct communication for clarity and efficiency in Agile teams. Face-to-face conversation allows for immediate feedback, nonverbal cues, and quicker resolution of misunderstandings compared to written communication alone. For instance, holding a quick stand-up meeting rather than sending a long email often clarifies issues much faster. Remember that strong communication is the backbone of successful Agile collaboration. Question 6. What is the primary purpose of a stakeholder register? A. To list all project risks and their mitigation strategies. B. To document all project requirements and their traceability. C. To identify and categorize all project stakeholders and their potential impact. D. To record all project costs and expenditures. Answer: C. To identify and categorize all project stakeholders and their potential impact. The primary purpose of a stakeholder register is to identify and categorize all individuals, groups, or organizations who could be affected by or affect the project, along with their characteristics such as interest, influence, and potential impact. This document serves as a key input for planning effective stakeholder engagement strategies. For example, it helps a project manager track who needs what kind of communication, like weekly updates for an executive sponsor versus detailed reports for a technical lead. Effectively managing stakeholders is crucial for project success. Question 7. A project team is nearing the end of a sprint, but a critical task is taking longer than expected. The team decides to decope a less critical feature from the current sprint to ensure the primary sprint goal is met. Which Scrum value is the team primarily demonstrating? A. Openness. B. Courage. C. Respect. D. Focus. Answer: D. Focus. By removing a less critical feature to ensure the primary sprint goal is met, the team is demonstrating focus. This Scrum value emphasizes concentrating effort on the work selected for the sprint and avoiding distractions or overcommitment. For instance, if a team has committed to delivering a login feature, they might postpone cosmetic UI improvements to ensure the core login functionality is robust and delivered on time. Teams that remain focused are more likely to achieve their sprint commitments and deliver value. Question 8. In which project management process group is the majority of the project work performed? A. Initiating. B. Planning. C. Executing. D. Closing. Answer: C. Executing. The executing process group is where the actual work defined in the project management plan is performed to achieve project objectives. This involves coordinating people and resources, managing stakeholder expectations, and integrating various project activities. For example, during the execution phase of a construction project, the physical building takes shape, resources are deployed, and tasks are performed. While planning is crucial, the bulk of the resource expenditure and deliverable creation occurs during execution. Question 9. What is the primary benefit of conducting a lessons learned session at the end of a project or phase? A. To assign blame for project failures. B. To document financial closures and final payments. C. To improve future projects by identifying successes, failures, and best practices. D. To formally release project team members from their assignments. Answer: C. To improve future projects by identifying successes, failures, and best practices. The primary benefit of a lessons learned session is to capture knowledge gained throughout the project, including what went well, what could have been better, and any effective practices that emerged. This information is then used to improve future projects, ensuring continuous organizational learning and avoiding past mistakes. For example, if a team discovers a new, efficient way to manage external vendors, this insight can be applied to subsequent projects. Always view lessons learned as an investment in continuous improvement for your organization. Question 10. A project manager is reviewing the work breakdown structure, WBS, with the team. What is the lowest level of the WBS typically called? A. Activity. B. Task. C. Work package. D. Deliverable. Answer: C. Work package. The work breakdown structure, WBS, is a hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work to be carried out by the project team to accomplish project objectives and create the required deliverables. The lowest level of the WBS is known as a work package, which is a manageable component that can be estimated, scheduled, monitored, and controlled. For example, in building a house, install plumbing fixtures might be a work package, encompassing various activities. The WBS helps define the scope clearly, ensuring no work is missed. Question 11. What is the main purpose of the Scrum Master role in a Scrum team? A. To manage the team's performance and report progress to stakeholders. B. To represent the business and prioritize the product backlog. C. To facilitate Scrum events, coach the team, and remove impediments. D. To design and develop the product's features. Answer: C. To facilitate Scrum events, coach the team, and remove impediments. The Scrum Master acts as a servant leader for the Scrum team, primarily focusing on facilitating Scrum events, coaching the team in self-organization and cross-functionality, and removing any impediments that hinder the team's progress. They are not a manager but rather a facilitator and coach, ensuring the team adheres to Scrum principles and practices. For example, if a team member is blocked by a lack of access to a system, the Scrum Master works to resolve that access issue. Think of the Scrum Master as the team's enabler, helping them perform their best. Question 12. A project team is experiencing frequent changes to the project scope, leading to rework and schedule delays. Which of the following is the most effective approach for the project manager to manage these changes? A. Reject all changes to maintain the original baseline. B. Implement a formal change control process. C. Absorb the changes into the existing schedule without formal approval. D. Delegate all change decisions to the project team. Answer: B. Implement a formal change control process. When frequent scope changes occur, implementing a formal change control process is the most effective way to manage them systematically. This process ensures that all proposed changes are reviewed, evaluated for impact, approved or rejected, and properly documented, preventing uncontrolled scope creep. For example, if a client requests a new feature, a change control process would require them to submit a change request, which is then assessed for its impact on cost, schedule, and quality before approval. A structured approach to change keeps the project aligned with its objectives. Question 13. Which of the following best describes the concept of progressive elaboration in project management? A. Completing the project scope in sequential phases. B. Continuously improving the project management plan as more information becomes available. C. Developing the project's deliverables incrementally. D. Gradually increasing the budget as the project progresses. Answer: B. Continuously improving the project management plan as more information becomes available. Progressive elaboration refers to the iterative process of increasing the level of detail in a project management plan as more information and more accurate estimates become available. It acknowledges that projects start with high-level information that becomes progressively more detailed as the project evolves. For example, initially, you might have a high-level estimate for a building's foundation, but as design progresses, you elaborate on the specific concrete types, rebar requirements, and pouring schedule. Progressive elaboration is about refining plans, not just changing them, as understanding grows. Question 14. What is the primary output of the project integration management knowledge area? A. Project schedule. B. Project management plan. C. Stakeholder register. D. Risk register. Answer: B. Project management plan. Project integration management is about coordinating all aspects of the project, including processes, activities, and decisions. The primary output of this knowledge area, specifically the develop project management plan process, is the project management plan itself. This comprehensive document integrates all subsidiary plans and baselines, serving as the blueprint for how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed. Think of it as the master plan that guides every facet of the project, ensuring all components work together cohesively. Question 15. A project manager is performing qualitative risk analysis. Which of the following techniques is most appropriate for this purpose? A. Monte Carlo simulation. B. Sensitivity analysis. C. Probability and impact matrix. D. Decision tree analysis. Answer: C. Probability and impact matrix. Qualitative risk analysis primarily focuses on prioritizing individual project risks for further analysis or action by assessing their probability of occurrence and potential impact on project objectives. A probability and impact matrix is a common tool used for this, allowing risks to be plotted based on their likelihood and severity, thereby helping to categorize and rank them. For example, a risk with high probability and high impact would be prioritized over one with low probability and low impact. This technique helps teams quickly focus on the most significant risks without complex calculations. Question 16. In a project context, what is the best description of business value? A. The total revenue generated by the project. B. The sum of all tangible and intangible elements that are worth something to an organization. C. The profit margin achieved from project deliverables. D. The cost savings realized during project execution. Answer: B. The sum of all tangible and intangible elements that are worth something to an organization. Business value is a broad concept that encompasses all tangible and intangible elements that hold worth or utility for an organization. While it can include financial gains like revenue or cost savings, it also extends to non-financial benefits such as improved customer satisfaction, enhanced brand reputation, better employee morale, or increased market share. For example, implementing a new customer service system might not immediately generate more revenue but could significantly improve customer satisfaction, delivering substantial business value. Always remember that value is more than just monetary. Question 17. Which of the following is an example of an Agile team's commitment during sprint planning? A. Committing to deliver every item on the product backlog. B. Committing to a specific velocity for all future sprints. C. Committing to achieve the sprint goal and deliver a forecast of product backlog items. D. Committing to work 60 hours per week to finish all tasks. Answer: C. Committing to achieve the sprint goal and deliver a forecast of product backlog items. During sprint planning, the Scrum team, primarily the development team, commits to achieving the sprint goal and delivering a forecast of the product backlog items they believe they can complete in the upcoming sprint. This is a commitment to the sprint goal, not a rigid promise to deliver specific tasks, acknowledging that forecasts are subject to uncertainty. For example, a team might commit to deliver a secure user login feature and forecast the specific backlog items needed for it, rather than guaranteeing every single task will be done. Agile teams embrace flexibility and shared understanding over fixed, inflexible plans. Question 18. What is the primary role of a project management office, PMO? A. To directly manage all projects within an organization. B. To provide centralized and coordinated management of projects, programs, and portfolios. C. To act as the functional manager for all project team members. D. To be responsible for creating all project deliverables. Answer: B. To provide centralized and coordinated management of projects, programs, and portfolios. The primary role of a project management office, PMO, is to standardize project management processes, provide guidance, and coordinate the management of projects, programs, and/or portfolios within an organization. A PMO can range from a supportive role providing templates and best practices to a controlling role ensuring compliance, or a directive role managing projects directly. For instance, a PMO might provide training for project managers across different departments or ensure all projects use the same risk management framework. The PMO aims to improve overall project success rates through consistent practices. Question 19. A project manager is faced with a situation where a key stakeholder is consistently escalating minor issues and undermining the project team's decisions. What is the most effective initial approach to manage this stakeholder? A. Ignore the stakeholder's behavior as it is minor. B. Remove the stakeholder from all project communications. C. Engage the stakeholder early and frequently to understand their concerns and manage expectations. D. Escalate the stakeholder's behavior to senior management immediately. Answer: C. Engage the stakeholder early and frequently to understand their concerns and manage expectations. The most effective initial approach to managing a challenging stakeholder is to engage them early and frequently. By understanding their concerns, expectations, and motivations, the project manager can proactively address issues, build trust, and potentially turn a challenging stakeholder into a supportive one. For example, a project manager might schedule one-on-one meetings to clarify misunderstandings and align on project objectives. Proactive communication and relationship building are key to effective stakeholder management. Question 20. Which of the following is not a core value of Scrum? A. Courage. B. Commitment. C. Compliance. D. Focus. Answer: C. Compliance. The 5 core values of Scrum are commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. These values guide the Scrum team's behavior and decisions, fostering a productive and collaborative environment. Compliance, while important in some organizational contexts, is not explicitly listed as a core Scrum value. For instance, a team demonstrates courage when they honestly report impediments, not just compliance with a process. Understanding these values helps teams embody the Agile mindset and improve their self-organization. Question 21. During a project's execution phase, a project manager discovers a significant variance between the planned and actual costs for a major work package. What is the project manager's immediate responsibility? A. To adjust the project budget to match the actual expenditure. B. To document the variance and ignore it if the overall project is still within budget. C. To identify the cause of the variance and implement corrective actions. D. To request additional funding from the project sponsor. Answer: C. To identify the cause of the variance and implement corrective actions. When a significant cost variance occurs, a project manager's immediate responsibility is to investigate the root cause of the deviation and implement appropriate corrective actions to bring the project back on track. Simply adjusting the budget or ignoring the issue does not address the underlying problem. For example, if materials cost more than expected, the project manager needs to determine if it's due to poor estimates, price changes, or waste, and then adjust procurement or processes accordingly. Proactive control is essential for managing project costs effectively. Question 22. In a hybrid project approach, what typically combines predictive and agile elements? A. Using a fixed price contract for all project phases. B. Applying agile methods for requirements gathering and predictive for execution. C. Dividing the project into clear, sequential phases with rigid requirements. D. Exclusively using a waterfall model for the entire project lifecycle. Answer: B. Applying agile methods for requirements gathering and predictive for execution. A hybrid project approach strategically combines elements of both predictive, waterfall, and agile methodologies to suit the specific needs of a project. A common hybrid scenario involves using agile methods, such as iterative cycles and continuous feedback, for early phases like requirements gathering or design, where uncertainty is high. Once requirements stabilize, a more predictive or traditional approach might be used for the execution or build phase, particularly for large, complex integrations. For example, a project might discover user interface requirements iteratively, then build the backend database using a more traditional plan. This blend aims to leverage the strengths of both approaches. Question 23. What is the primary purpose of a sprint review in Scrum? A. To discuss the team's performance and identify improvements for the next sprint. B. To inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog if needed. C. To plan the work for the upcoming sprint. D. To synchronize development activities and remove impediments. Answer: B. To inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog if needed. The sprint review is a key Scrum event held at the end of each sprint to inspect the increment, the potentially shippable product, and adapt the product backlog. During this informal meeting, the Scrum team, stakeholders, and product owner collaborate on what was done, review the progress, and determine what to do next based on feedback. For example, if a new feature developed in the sprint receives unexpected feedback, the product owner might reprioritize related items in the product backlog for future sprints. It's a crucial opportunity for inspection and adaptation. Question 24. A project manager wants to ensure all communication needs of stakeholders are met effectively. Which document or plan would be most useful for this purpose? A. Risk Management Plan. B. Stakeholder Register. C. Communications Management Plan. D. Quality Management Plan. Answer: C. Communications Management Plan. The Communications Management Plan details how, when, and by whom project information will be administered and distributed. It outlines the specific communication requirements of various stakeholders, ensuring that information flows efficiently and effectively throughout the project lifecycle. For example, it defines who needs to receive weekly status reports, how frequently, and in what format. This plan is essential for proactive communication, preventing misunderstandings, and keeping everyone informed. Question 25. Which of the following best describes the ultimate goal of quality management in a project? A. To ensure all project deliverables are produced at the lowest possible cost. B. To meet or exceed stakeholder expectations and satisfy project requirements. C. To delegate quality responsibility solely to the project team. D. To complete the project on schedule, regardless of quality issues. Answer: B. To meet or exceed stakeholder expectations and satisfy project requirements. The ultimate goal of quality management in a project is to ensure that the project deliverables and the project processes themselves meet the specified requirements and, more broadly, satisfy the expectations of the stakeholders. It's not just about compliance, but about delivering value and ensuring fitness for use. For instance, a software product might meet all coded requirements, but if users find it too complex, it fails to meet their expectations. True quality management aims to build confidence that the project will satisfy the needs for which it was undertaken.